My name is Jordan Weaver. This is the pre-show brought to you by the 1017 Project. It seems like there's going to be a lot of things happening over the next couple hours that we think you want to know about. So the idea of this is just sort of the precursor. We want to give you some things to circle on your programs. We want to introduce you to some of the people that you're going to watch. If somebody does something amazing, I think it's more fun if you know who they are. And so this is our introduction, not only to the people behind what you're going to see tonight, but also the athletes. And more than anything, probably the culture. If you can leave understanding the culture of everything you're about to experience, we feel like it's going to enhance that. We've got Lefty Holman, Cooper James, and Kennedy Riggs. Kennedy, what goes on your business card now?
You know what? I like to say all-around girl boss, professional, sweetheart, all the things. No, I would say sideline reporter. Well, here's the thing. Here at the Hondo, I'm called the voice from the dirt. So I'm going to be interviewing these guys down in the dirt if they ride well enough, right? And they win tonight's round.
Hopefully this is the first of two that you're going to do with these guys.
Exactly. Right. We're just warming up.
Lefty Holman, saddle bronc rider. What that means, if you don't know what you're looking for, saddle bronc riding is the bucking horses that have the saddles on. I feel like we kind of put the description in the name of the event.
Exactly.
We just, if it's saddle bronc riding,
Pretty
there's a saddle,
self-explanatory.
there's a bronc. Cooper James, bull riding, which is the event where people ride bulls.
Right.
None of that really needs explanation. How old are you guys?
I just turned 27 the other day.
I'm 20.
So 20 is kind of an old bull rider. 27 is still sort of a young saddle bronc rider. So in a sense, you guys have both swapped ages.
Right.
What's the relationship outside of rodeo? When you guys are not at a rodeo or an event, what is the dynamic between the two of you guys?
Yeah, so Cooper actually lives in Visalia now. So he's written one of my places. So we train together. We go to the gym every single day. We're getting on practice. He's getting on practice bulls. I'm getting on practice horses. And it's so good to have somebody to train with, somebody with the same goals, someone with the same goals. Yeah. So it's good just to have someone to kind of push you and somebody that wants to be as good as you,
Who's the early bird between the two of you guys?
Definitely him because he's got a child. She wakes him up. Viva wakes him up every morning, and then I'm up a little later, but I always got a coffee made.
He's up around 11.
If you wake up at 11, why do you need a coffee?
Because I went to bed late.
Okay, let's back up to that, though. You guys are in such different stages of life. You're married with a kid. You're in your young single years where you're riding with a Rolex on your wrist. So talk about how that dynamic works. Do you guys kind of bounce off of each other? Do you keep him young? Do you keep him in line, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I keep him young. No, we're a pretty good match, I'd say. I met him when I was 14, going to his bronc riding schools. I used to ride broncs. Ended up not working out for me. Still rode bulls at the time, and I don't know. It's a good relationship. We keep it pretty light, positive. We're always confident, and we always got something going on.
Yeah, Cooper's a bit of an old soul. Like all the young guys are out at the bar last night, going to the clubs. Cooper's in bed. He's kind of an
Boys, I gotta be up by 11.
Yeah.
Boys,
Got a big day in.
yeah. 11 o'clock's gonna come early.
Yes, sir.
For me. So tell me, I want to know a little bit, the thing that stands out to me about the Hondo, because I almost feel like it's not even fair. There are going to be people who this is going to be their first rodeo experience without even knowing this is not your typical run. This is changing the world. Like, this is the joke almost might be like, this is the beginning of the revolution.
For sure.
They're handpicked in each event. Instead of having a whole lot of contestants, they're picking the all-stars, right? It's the all-star game in every single event. Describe for me the relationship and how it's different between the Hondo and the contestants, without mentioning any other organizations or anything like that. But let me put the ball into even more. It seems to me like you guys have been brought in at a partner level, not just go, dance the dance. It's, we need your opinions. It feels like you guys are trusted to know how to create the best event for your events. We watched yesterday's, they made some last minute adjustments at the request of the contestants. How would you describe the dynamic between the contestants and the Hondo, and how's that different for people that wouldn't know?
I would just say how great they treat us. Like we get here, they have our hotels ready, they have food on the table for us. They just take such great care of us rodeo athletes, and that's something we're not used to. We're used to kind of doing everything on our own, getting our own hotel room, figuring transportation. Here at the Hondo, they have everything lined out. That way it's easier for us to do our job and give the rodeo fans the best show we can.
Yeah, we're gonna need a late checkout for Cooper James. Right. What about you? So this is your second year rodeoing. You had a really good first year. Your second year fought some injuries and stuff, but I've sat in contestant meetings before, and the feeling is almost you guys break all the rules. You can't be trusted to do anything right. You're gonna do what you do, but this is how it's gonna go. It's almost like you almost feel like you're in the principal's office. I've seen none of that.
Right.
So even though being you're only your second year, what have you noticed that's different about when you come here?
No, it is, how they treat the contestants, and it's not just a production to make money. It's having the Cowboys' best interests in mind. Like you said, I heard that the barrel racers wanted something changed with the pattern and everything with the arena, and they came in, we're talking about it, and they said, well, if you guys all want to change it, let's change it.
I was there, and I'll even say it was a little bit different than that. It's almost like from a contestant standpoint, we're conditioned. This is how it's going to be. And so when it's something you don't like, you're like, oh, okay. You could watch yesterday's, they're like, are we allowed to say something? Like, it's your event.
Mm-hmm.
This is your event. You should be the ones making those decisions. And the answer was, if all 8 agree, we'll put the barrels in a square, is what Cord said. It's their event to help create. And so even like maybe the people that have rodeoed the longest are the most like, are you sure that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's got to come from the top down, right? Like that's got to come from the people that are organizing it. But that's been their wish, is like, you guys tell us exactly what you said. Like, how do we create for you the best event that lets you do the best? Roast Dog guys, Cord said he sent you guys the list of animals.
Right.
Again, I want to reference, if you haven't ever been to a rodeo, usually they decide what's coming. They draw you something, you show up, and that's what you got. And in rodeo, whatever you get on really determines how successful you're going to be. You can do as good a job as you can, but on the wrong animal, you're not going to be competitive.
For sure.
Here, Cord sent you guys the list. You guys got to even be a part of not only what stock contractors, but which animals you're going to show up and compete on. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like, in the past at other places, we've been scared to speak up about certain animals or certain ways that they run the deal or run the show, but I feel like the Hondo gives us a chance to be a part of that and to choose the best animals that we want to get on, or, the pattern or the arena, or how we want it set up. And that gives us the best opportunity to perform and to do our best if we're involved with it, to also bring the outsiders, if you will, that have never been to a rodeo, that, this is their first rodeo coming to the Hondo, and to see what we can do. And it just makes everyone a working part of rodeo.
Absolutely. Have you guys seen that video where the guy's like, if you do this, straight to jail, straight to jail, straight to jail? I feel like sometimes rodeo is like straight to fines. That's a fine. That's fine.
Not here, though.
And what we're seeing is contestants that are showing up happy and ready to go to work. And I think I really do. I think that's going to show up in the competition element too. Not only is it the best contestants, it's the best environment and the best stock. So here people are like, we're going to go to a concert. I guess there's a rodeo. It's like, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
And it's the best stock in the world out here. These aren't just wild horses we're getting off the range. These horses were bred for this, and they're treated so phenomenal. You see them down there in the back pins. Everyone always asks me, oh, it must be so scary getting on a bucking horse. Like, that must be a man killer. It must hate you. And it's the complete opposite. These horses, they love their job. And you could see it whenever you're saddling them. You have a bond with them. You're working together to win money. You're not working against this horse. Bronc riding is not a fight. It's a dance. And that's your dancing partner.
Well, and if an animal doesn't like something,
it's not going to do it.
What are you going to do? Make them do it?
It's not going to do it.
And everything they're doing is voluntary.
Absolutely.
Kennedy, for you guys that don't know, Kennedy was Miss Rodeo Arizona and then went on to become Miss Rodeo America. Yeah, perfect. You got to meet committees. You got to meet people. You got to go to all these different places. This is something you've got to see a lot of behind the scenes. Where do you see it? I mean, I feel like you and I being hosts here, but really your life experience, you got a perspective that's unique. What is the thing that stands out to you? Like, we can do this? This is allowed?
Oh, yeah. Well, all 4 of us here have been to hundreds of rodeos. That's safe to say, at least that, right? And so we're really used to the norm that you guys were touching on, the traditional rodeo that we know. And here's the thing, Hondo is different in a lot of different ways, but I think that the number one thing that stands out to me is it's just fresh, if I could put it into one word. They have open minds, they're ready to progress, they're holding true to the values and the traditions we need to hold on to, but they are letting go of the old ways that we don't need to hold on to anymore in order for rodeo to grow, in order to provide more opportunities for these guys. This is exactly the future of rodeo that we really want. But I will say, having you guys here is perfect right now, because I think that the vibe of the Hondo is very similar to your guys' personal vibes. It's fresh, it's out of the box, it's not the norm. But at the same time, you guys still value tradition, you value your heritage, you both have that. And so I want you guys to touch on that a little bit too. Talk about your style even. I mean, riding with watches this expensive? Are you crazy?
Right. One of my favorite Lefty Holman stories is somebody walked up to him and was like, "Hey, what I think we were in an airport or something, and they said, what do you do for a living? Like, you got saddle? He says, I'm a rodeo cowboy. I ride saddle bronc horses. And he says, you don't look like a cowboy. And he said, I never said I was a cowboy. And I love that because, we're out here, we're getting on animals, getting on buck and stock all the time. But, when we're just at the house or, traveling or anything, we got baggy jeans, a t-shirt.
Going to every coffee shop in town.
And,
What part of the California culture do you think you feel the most connected to? Something that's specific to where you're from that's maybe other places in the world wouldn't experience, whether that's surfing or something to do with the food or the culture. What is life like from like in what way do you feel the most connected to the culture where you live?
See, where I live is a Central Valley, so it's farmers, it's ranchers, it's the best people in the world. When you think California, you think of LA, San Francisco, and all those places. But where I'm from, people love rodeo and they love the Western heritage. So whenever I would go into town, go into Target, go into Walmart, a lot of people say, "Hey, Lefty, we watch you here. We watch you on the Cowboy Channel here." And so it's just cool to see the support, even though I am from California. They love rodeo.
You know what I would say is it feels like everybody seems to be surprised that there is like a Tractor Supply group of people in California, and there are, and that's kind of where it started.
Absolutely.
Cooper, where did you grow up? Were you California?
Utah.
Yeah,
about 30 miles west
basically
of
the
Salt
same
Lake
as
City.
California, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we got more rodeo culture over there and a lot of agriculture, but kind of the same deal, big city Salt Lake being not really in the rodeos, but some of the Utah rodeos I feel like are some of the best in the world.
For sure.
Like they pack them out. They love it over there.
We talked about that actually this week in Utah. Like if you have a rodeo, it's going to be sold out.
Mhm.
I think it's probably the best region for rodeo attendance, and not just rodeo people attending. There's some places you go to a rodeo and you see like rodeo people, right?
Dodge City, Kansas.
Thank you. Utah just feels like the same people you might see at the lake. It's the same people you might see at a movie theater or grocery shopping. Like that group of people, that is their sport. And I think, Kennedy, you tell me, but it almost feels like that's sort of what it's supposed to be, right? Like this is a sport. If we did a better job explaining who these people are and what you're going to be watching, I feel like this is one of those sports that people will connect to that are not even wearing cowboy hats or don't connect to the Western industry. This is a sport to me that is so engaging, and Utah's proven that as a model.
100%.
Why does it work so well there?
I think the Phoenix is going to prove that 100-fold this weekend. We saw it last year. Because seriously, if you think about the crowd that's going to be here in these seats this weekend, it's not your normal rodeo audience, right? We're going to have a lot of D-backs fans. We're going to have a lot of concert fans that are here for the music. And then they're going to take part in this and realize, wait, I think that I want to be a fan of rodeo too. So I think we're going to bring a lot of outsiders in. And I think a lot of outsiders are going to be watching this. So if you're hearing me say this right now, you are welcome here. We have you here with open arms. We're glad you're here, but I want to say this too. You have a lot more in common with these guys than you would think. Like, yeah, they're going to get on a boat. You probably wouldn't on a random Tuesday, but you might shop at the same places. You might shop from them even. Book them here. Right. They have their own little brand, so talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, it's Lefty's brand, Buckham. Him and his wife started it, and since I moved out there, I got to be a part of it and help run that, and it's been awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, Cooper's been a part of it since the day one. It's kind of our brand, not just mine. But yeah, so my family is in the fashion world, you'd say. My aunt's rodeo Quincy, and my grandmother had her own clothing line. So, and I've always been in the fashions. You don't always have to be the smartest in the room, but you could always be the best looking, and that's something I've always told myself. So we started our own clothing line. Is it a little different for the rodeo people? Absolutely. But it's us, it's we're not trying to be anybody we're not. It's our style, and we're sticking to it.
And something else I want to bring up too, I know you guys' music style is pretty similar, I think, a lot of people in this audience. So talk about that too. Do you have a walk-up song you're getting ready for?
I've been listening to Treaty Oak Revival all day today. All day today I've been listening to Treaty Oak. Nickelback's going to be here. Kid Rock. Are you kidding me?
Excited.
This is going to be as good as it gets. The Hondo is changing rodeo in the best way possible.
Okay. I will say those are all great, but my walk-up song is She Will by Lil Wayne and Drake. So,
You guys,
plug.
we're going to transition. We're going to let everybody meet the names and faces of the guys that are putting this on. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. We now have 2 people that we know we could be watching for tonight. But thank you guys for jumping on. We're excited to have you guys here. Thanks for making time.
Yep.
You guys, we're going to transition. I want to introduce you to some people. Sometimes you introduce somebody because you kind of feel like you have to. This is not that. I feel like that I have found a home in the Hondo, and not just because the concerts and the rodeos and things like that, but the culture that that they hold themselves to, whether it's a random work day or whether it's a day like today. Here's what you need to know about the Hondo, in my opinion. Here's my estimation. And Kennedy, if you want to jump in on this as they're walking in, there is no ego amongst any of these guys. Everybody that I've worked with is yes, sir, no, sir. James, you're going to meet James in a second, and he's changing the world. This guy is a killer, and he's just moving mountains, but you're going to meet him. He just looks like the guy you bump into.
Oh, yeah.
The culture that he and Blake and Cord have created around this thing, I literally get excited for people to meet him. And so to have James and Peyton, I haven't talked to Peyton as much, but tell me your experience just with them as they're getting ready to come on.
Oh my gosh, they're the best of people. I mean, rodeo in general, I think, especially in comparison to mainstream sports, is very refreshing because of that. Like, yeah, if you're going to be at the top, you have to have a little bit of an ego to push you. But these guys have a sense of humility to them. And that's exactly what James and Cord and their families totally represent very well, too. So one thing that I've noticed, too, that I really love is they stand firm in their beliefs, but they're all inclusive of people that don't have similar beliefs to them, though. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's the entire reason why they've been so successful in Hondo, because they're welcoming in new crowds.
Well, and let me tell you something. I don't know everything there is to know about James Craywick, but here's what I do know. The guy is allergic to cutting corners. Like, if there's a better way to do something, he's going to find it and figure out a way, and then surrounds himself, myself excluded, with the best people that can come in and do everything they want to do the way that they want it done. So, without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce you to our boss, the guy that's changing my life. Hopefully he's changing Kennedy's life. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Changing everybody's life with this one right here. She's changing mine every day.
That's good. That's good.
There's something to be said about that. There is always a powerful woman behind a powerful man. And by the way, Miss Alabama, I mean, this girl has a resume of her own.
Today we learned that James is the president of the Howdy Club. You know what the Howdy Club is?
Do
tell. The Howdy at Her Club. So congratulations, James, out kicking your covers. Thank you for jumping on.
A lot of brownie points getting worked on here. I love it.
Well, it was on the script he gave us.
That actually, listen, if you prepared for that, that's even better. Put some thought behind it. We love it.
James, I think that everybody would be surprised seeing everything that's here. They go, but like, who's the guy? Like, it's like you go to the Wizard of Oz, right? You go to Oz and you see all the stuff, and then it finds out there's just like a guy behind the curtain pulling the strings. Right? Okay, tell us about that guy. And then they meet James. They're like, there's no freaking way.
He's cool.
He's so sweet. He's so nice. He's soft spoken. Peyton, is this what he's like for real?
Okay, so I will tell you, when we got here last year, because obviously it was my first year experiencing this too, I made the joke. I was like, how can this man who cannot remember to put the milk back in the fridge put this on? And like, logistically, that's a lot. I mean, logistics, this is a big deal. There's a ton of moving parts, a ton of little pieces. And last year, especially, a really small team put this together, and we've been really blessed that they were able to grow this year. But I got here and I was like, what? I'm so thankful that everything's working.
Yeah, right.
But he's very on top of it, especially when it comes to business and work. He makes it work. He's great, but he cannot remember to put the milk back in the fridge. But as long as he can get this going, it's fine. I can buy more milk.
We depend on getting 100% of his bandwidth.
That's fine.
And if there's put milk in the refrigerator space to get dedicated elsewhere, then we all suffer.
Hey, and that's where I come in.
I want to tell you personally, thank you for putting
You're welcome, It's fine. I don't drink milk, so if it spoils, it's fine. He'll let me know. He's the taste tester. So.
But this isn't the only thing you guys have your hands full with. You have a set of twins at home.
We do. So we have 4.5-year-old twins, and we actually have a third on the way.
Congratulations. I know if we were announcing that, not breaking news.
We might as well. So we have 4.5-year-old twin girls. They will be here, of course, tonight. They were running around yesterday. They love getting to experience this. When we get to New Orleans in April, there will be no hiding it. I mean, I'll be 36 weeks pregnant. So
we're gonna have to have a special cart.
We are. I'm gonna be rolled around
in a buggy.
Yeah, I know a guy, so I think we can make it work. Mm-hmm.
James, has this always been true of you? The thing that I like, just at a selfish, personal, only me related area, is your attention to detail and your demand for excellence. I love that because I never feel like, I think if a person's in the wrong environment, everybody could be like, calm down, special boy, it's not that big of a deal. I never feel that way. I feel like if I do things as well as I can possibly do them, that's the expectation because that's how everybody that I'm working with is. And I adore that. Has that always been the case, or do you feel like that the Hondo has brought out even another gear in you that you didn't have before?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that if you're going to do it at all, you might as well do the best you can. I was raised that, if you do everything as if you're doing it for the Lord. So you do the best that you can absolutely do. And I think that, absolutely the Hondo is the new challenge. It was the thing that made me uncomfortable. It was the thing that grew me, and that means my relationship with my wife and my kids and everything. You have to figure out how to navigate the complexities of traveling and setting up a new show, but then also maintaining home. And thankfully, it's been navigable, I'll say, because of Peyton.
And I will chime in on that. What he said, he is now instilling that in our 4.5-year-old girls. So they don't want to clean up their toys and they don't want to do little things. And that exact saying is, you do everything like you're doing it for the Lord and to glorify him. And he's instilling that in our girls. So I would say, yes, he's very big on, if you're going to do it right and do it well and put effort forth. Even if it's not perfect, you know that you at least worked really hard and did your best. And he is now teaching that to our kids. I have also seen him grow just enormously through the Hondo in different areas and his leadership strengths. He's always been a great leader, but it's really been amplified through this role. So that's been really fun to watch. But I mean, I've known him for 10 years. He's been like that as long as I've known him. But now he's teaching that to our kids, which is really fun to watch.
It's important that you do it right now because they're teenagers. They're like, come on, put the Lord's milk away. Fourth is when it's time to start sneaking it in.
I may use that line. What are you talking about?
Write it down. I do want to touch on that, though, if that's okay. To me, I'm in an insider perspective, right? But outside of your family looking in, I see you guys prioritizing the right things. You know what matters most. And so you put that first while handling a $10 million project like this, and then it falls into place. So what do you have to say about that and where your priorities are at and how much of an impact that has?
So just really quick, and James can obviously speak for himself on this, but I've learned this in past jobs and just how he works. He works, first off, glorify the Lord, and that's his first priority, but he also works for our family. So he works for the Hondo, but why is he doing that work? He's doing that work for our family and to make sure that we, have a good life and our girls grow up and have a great life and get to experience things. So he works for the Hondo, but he ultimately works for the Lord and our family, and he puts those things first. And I think that's why the Lord's blessed this project so much. We've been really, really blessed through this all coming together so well, but I think that's why it's because he's got his priorities correct. So that's been fun to see. I'll let you.
James, I want to hear your answer too, but I want to add a caveat. The expense is always a guess in the beginning. It's your second year. The expense that it's taken, I don't mean just the money. I mean the time away from home, the travel, the places that you're going, the things that you're doing. Maybe you guys could both even answer this. Has it come at more of a cost than you had anticipated in other ways?
Yeah. Yes, it has. We actually, we knew we were expecting, and we knew we wanted to grow the Hondo, and we picked up and moved to Alabama. We were living in Fort Worth, Texas for a long time. And, I moved to Texas from the Southeast in 2007, had planted roots, started a business, developed friendship and, church community, all of those things. My immediate family's in Texas. And I knew I needed to travel. We're going to expand into other markets. We got to set those markets up. We got to build relationships there. Relationships take time. And so for Peyton to be close to her family and have their support in helping us navigate adding a third to the herd, and maybe more.
Did you?
No, that was on the spot. You're welcome.
That one's jokes are coming out.
I've got I have everything but the white New Balances on right now. I do have those at home though, in case you're wondering.
And on that note, and that is a sacrifice in which he has enjoyed it, but that is a sacrifice that James made. He loved Texas. He considers himself a Texan, even though he didn't move there till he was 17, which I'd love to remind him. But that was a sacrifice for him to leave that lifestyle and that culture to put me closer to my family, further away from his, closer to mine. For one, we're growing our family, but also I was a high school teacher when we were in Texas. And so being back home has allowed me the freedom to be with our girls more. And he's always traveled a lot, our entire relationship. But the past year, especially last year with the Hondo getting us started, he traveled a lot. We really could not have anticipated how much he would have traveled or would be traveling the last 6 months. He was gone almost the entire month of August. Our girls were starting school. We were a new school, all the things. And so it was hard. And he has he's sacrificed a lot. The great thing is that we are able to come with him. And that's why this weekend is such a big deal for our little family, is because our girls, they hear like, well, Daddy's not here. He's at work. but we get to see daddy's work come to life. And so that is so much fun for us this weekend. And it's like, hey, this is why when he travels and he's not here for bedtime or whatever, this weekend is why. And they get to tangibly see that in front of them. And so this weekend is way bigger than most people realize for our family, because it kind of puts things into perspective for them and their babies. But they get it. Like, this is daddy's work. And so it's just fun to see that kind of come together in their brains.
There's something significant that I really hadn't caught until right now, but you're not only putting on a rodeo, you're putting on every event is an all-star game. Every animal is an all-star animal. This, for people that this is their first experience in a rodeo, they're going to get a really jaded idea of what this thing is. This is so much better. Kennedy, you tell me if I'm wrong. Doesn't it, like, looking at them, doesn't this seem like a rodeo family? He's gone. He's doing stuff for his family. He comes home. The mom is just like hustling, making it work. So even though you guys are the ones that are like creating this canopy for all of us and creating a space for us and the contestants, and you're bringing in the best act, your job in itself looks very, very different, but your lifestyle, you're not living a lifestyle that's all that different than the contestants that you're going to work for.
And can I say too, sorry, but I just wanted to say, from an outside perspective, again, you can see that they live a very similar lifestyle to the contestants, so they understand what the contestants need. They also live a very similar lifestyle to the crowd that we're going to be attracting this weekend, so they know what this audience needs. And I know that you touched on this yesterday in our press conference, James, but family is the center of this entire project. It's for everyone. The Hondo is for everybody, but really it was created for the family. So touch on that, both of you, why don't you?
Well, when we started this, Blake and I, we sat down and talked about what team we would need to bring it all together, right? I was going to bring in the rodeo side. He was going to bring in the music side. But ultimately, the end game was creating an experience families could enjoy. And last year we had over 68% people buy tickets for families. And so this stadium was full of people that had children here that got to see the sport, got to see what cowboy culture stands for, right? And then we got to impress upon those families what that's all about. But ultimately we're building fans in the process. And so for me, that's a huge part of it. Yes, we're going to increase the purse size. Yes, we're going to consolidate the sport and elevate the field of play and create better and new opportunities for the athletes. We're going to do a lot of awesome things, but at the end of the day, if we can show up in a new city and create an opportunity for families to get together and experience something as amazing as a rodeo and a concert like this at an affordable price, we've accomplished the goal.
And Peyton, I want you to answer this actually on that front. Why the family? Why is that the priority? Why is that so important with the big picture perspective of our society today?
Well, I think for us, a lot of it boils down to just our beliefs, and we believe that the Lord has blessed us with littles, and it's just been really fun to have them here and them run around and get to see everything, and the fact that it is kid friendly, because some things, wouldn't be, whether intended or not, some things are just not fun for kids to go to. And so the fact that daddy's work is also something that our girls get to come enjoy and be a part of. It is important. Family dynamic is so important, especially for our upcoming youth and just generations to come. Families that can do things together and have that time while also being entertained and maybe being introduced to a new sport or whatever that looks like. Being able to spend that time together on a weekend out. Unfortunately, I think that's a little bit smaller and smaller. But we're thankful that Daddy has put together something that we get to enjoy. And our girls, they ran wild yesterday. They love it.
I think that if the family is healthy in America, America's healthy, right?
Yes.
If the family unit is together and cohesive, then we have an opportunity to succeed as a nation, right?
Yes.
And I think that if we can step into culture with this form of entertainment and help rebuild the family unit in a way, then we're doing something positive that's bigger ultimately than the sport itself.
Yes, and I will say, just to add on to the rodeo lifestyle and the family dynamic, this man next to me is making plans. He sent me a text the other day. I was still in Alabama, but he's like, hey, just so you know, in a couple years, if the Lord continues to bless us like he has, I really want to come out here for a month so I can go to Jackpots and we can just stay out here for a month. And then we can go to,
that's a couple years away.
And then you
gotta ease into things. I did not. Easy.
Hey, but let me tell you, I'm fine because I'm a horse person. So you go ahead.
Hey, we've got to wrap it up. I'm getting the sign. Here's what I want to wrap it up with is that when I talked to James about coming on here, just at a personal level, I want to tell you guys thank you, is that I wanted to step out of a certain element of leadership in my own life. And I wanted somebody that I admired, that like inspired me, somebody that I can point to and go, that's what it's supposed to look like. And that's what you guys have done in my own life. And so then the second half of that is I'm excited that everybody, for everything that they're going to get to experience, and for as inspiring as all the emotions and stuff are, that there's people that we get to point to and go, and it kind of looks like that there are things that are sacred. Sacred's a word we just eliminated, right? If we bring it back and we go, no, there's some things that are sacred, and family is one of those things, and our faith is one of those things, and so that's a heavy burden to carry. And so thank you guys for doing it in such a way that it gives us the opportunity to go, and when it's done right, it looks like that.
I will say he's saying all this before watching us run around with our twins, so we'll see. Find us tonight, just watch me scramble. You're gonna be like, yeah, I want that. Yeah. So we'll see, but it's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate the work you're doing.
We're gonna turn it back over to the rodeo team. The rodeo starts in 20 minutes.